There's a bit going on with this question. We want to take the derivative here and evaluate it at 1. The problem is we have f and g in this mix, and we're given information. We know what f prime of 1 is, and we know what g of 1 is. We're asked what g prime of 1 is. Wow. Let's go ahead and take the derivative of both sides of this equation. So on the left-hand side, it's just f of x. What's the derivative of f of x? Well, it's f prime of x. I don't know what it is, so I'll just call it what it is. The right-hand side is a quotient rule. We have 1 plus xg of x on top. We have x squared on the bottom. Let's go ahead and use that quotient rule, low d high minus high d low. So low is x squared. D high is the derivative of the top. The derivative of 1 is 0. The derivative of x, g of x, is a product rule. So we actually have a product rule within a quotient rule. This is getting wild. So the derivative of x, g of x, the derivative of x is 1 times g of x plus x, the derivative of g of x is g prime of x. That's because I take the derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second. Okay, that's just the first part of the quotient rule. Then we need to go minus high d low. So that's minus 1 plus x g of x. And what's the derivative of x squared, the low function? It's 2x. This is all over low squared. X squared squared is x to the 4th. Wow, that was a tough derivative. We had a product rule inside a quotient rule with abstract functions, and we're not even done yet because our job was to find g prime of 1. There's the g prime. So we need to plug in x equals 1 here, everywhere I see an x. So on the left-hand side, we have f prime of 1. We would have 1 squared 1 times g of 1 plus 1 times g prime of 1 minus 1 plus 1 g of 1 times 2 times 1 all over 1 to the 4th. A lot of 1's going on here. So I think we can clean a lot of this up. Anywhere I see 1 to a power or multiplied by 1, I won't bother writing that. But what we can fill in from before, we know that f prime of 1 is 2 and g of 1 is 1. So let's make that left-hand side equal to 2 because that's where we have f prime of 1. And we have 2 g of 1's. Those will both be 1 as well. So really, this is equaling, well, 1 squared, I won't write that. Here we'd actually have a 1 times a 1, which is 1, plus 1 times g prime of 1. G prime of 1 is actually what we're solving for. This is minus 1 plus, well, here we have 1 times 1 again is 1, and then 1 times 2 is 2, over 1 to the 4th. 1 to the 4th is 1. I won't write that. So things are getting clearer. It looks like 2 equals 1 plus g prime of 1 minus, well, 1 plus 1 is 2, times 2 is 4. Now we'll just algebraically solve this. It looks like 2 equals, well, 1 minus 4 is minus 3, plus g prime of 1. Add the 3 to both sides. I think we're going to finally get 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 is what g prime of 1 is. Wow, that was a crazy problem. We had to do a product rule and a quotient rule with abstract functions, evaluate that, and then solve algebraically. I think this video might be worth looking at a second time. Feel free to watch as much as you need.